It's Courtney with the Colorado. Hi, Kikoa. It's Courtney with the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center. Today we're in with Kikoa and Kenai and Sakara, and I also have our owner and founder Darlene with me today. They're very excited to see their mother. So what we're talking about today is Yellowstone. I'm going to go over what the wolves did in Yellowstone when they were reintroduced in 1995, and then Darlene's going to talk to you guys about what's happening right outside of Yellowstone, and the wolves are in danger right now. So in 1995, Yellowstone's ecosystem was dying. They had too many elk and they were turning into mega herds. Now elk, once they're in that mega herd, what they do is they stay in one spot unless something like the wolves are there to come break them up. When they stay in one spot, what they're doing is killing the grasses. Once they've killed all the grasses and the streamlined vegetation, they're actually gonna work their way up to the aspens and the willows. Once they do that, you're taking away homes and shelter for so many animals such as beavers, birds, small reptiles, small mammals. Even streamlined vegetation can hurt fish. So that's why Yellowstone was actually getting really sick. And they took notice to that, and so they said, let's bring in wolves from Canada. When they brought in some wolves from Canada, they actually ended up breaking up those herds, and 350 species came back to Yellowstone because what the wolves started doing was taking the sick. A lot of the elk were starting to get really sick with different diseases like blue tongue, waist... He's a big boy, you probably couldn't see me. So they were getting diseases, really sick, and so they were actually breeding sick and weaker animals. So when wolves came in and took away the sick and the old, and even when you take a young elk that's healthy, when you cull that off, they're actually going to make a stronger calf next season so it can fit the environment of where there are wolves. So that really brought Yellowstone back to life. Every single year, Yellowstone makes $35 million. The wolves in Yellowstone make $35 million. Yellowstone makes a lot more, but alone, 35 to 37 million. That's a lot. People want to see what the wolves achieved, meaning that it's no longer that barren national park. It's now this lush, beautiful place where millions of people go each year. And they also want to see the wolves, but unfortunately, you don't have a great chance of seeing them anymore. And Darlene's going to talk to you about why that is.
Well, in Yellowstone, in the 20-year study, there's only about 100 wolves that are in Yellowstone. So that's not really a lot of wolves that's there. And unfortunately, what's happening now is there is a proposal to up the amount of wolves being killed outside of Yellowstone National Park. It's going from 2 to 6 to be able to lure them out of the park. And that is, I mean, to me, that is just unacceptable to be able to do something like that. So they're doing the means of, wolves don't know borders. So you can literally bait a wolf out of a park. What that means is you can take a carcass and put it right outside of the boundary lines of Yellowstone. You can do puppy sounds where some of the wolves will hear a pup and go to see what's wrong. And as soon as they put one paw over that line there, they're in the crosshairs. You can do trapping, you can do aerial hunts, and this is your Yellowstone wolves that are being killed and lured out. They have no idea what's going on. They're killing families, they break up the pack, and as most of you probably know, a pack is a family. And you have your alpha pair, you have your family members, you have your pups, and once you take out maybe one of the parents and some of the other members, you've just disrupted that whole pack, integration there of how they hunt, how they live, how they survive. So it's just something that is not fair, and there is a proposal to up that amount. If you think of the upping it just to 6 could be a whole pack family that they're willing to lure out of the park that is going to possibly be legal. So these are the things that we're going to keep you updated on information that we find out about it and how you can be a voice. I want to talk a little bit about wolves in Colorado. Colorado used to have wolves. We used to have our gray wolves here, and unfortunately we killed them all. We haven't had any wolves here since 1945 when the last one was shot. That's a long time to be absent without wolves. Look what happened with Yellowstone before we had wolves. We brought wolves back, and look how beautiful it is and why people go there because the whole ecosystem balanced out again, because you need a top predator like a wolf. They are an apex predator, and you take something, such an important link out of that, and everything else, it's a dominoes effect, and everything else starts to, you know, disintegrate. So wolves here in Colorado needs to come back. We have an elk population that is over 300,000 elk just in the state of Colorado. That's almost 100,000 more than our state can support. So, and they talk about, you know, as far as bringing, you want to come back and run in the wild, don't you? Bringing wolves back into Colorado would be such a great thing, and it would be good for our economy as well. And just like we was talking about, even though Yellowstone is, you know, worldwide known, you know, Colorado is a big tourism state. And just think about, if you want to talk about tourism dollars, if you had a pack or two into Colorado, you want to see tourism dollars, it would far exceed anything as far as any other place that you would do, or even hunting and fishing. It would exceed that. And we're not saying hunting and fishing is a bad thing, but we're saying, boy, you bring wolves to Colorado. For example, our little place up here in Divide. We're up in Divide, Colorado, tiny little place. When businesses in the past where, you know, the economy went bad and businesses were starting to close and everything, we thrived. And the reason why? People wanted to see wolves. And we get people from all over the world that will make this place a destination to be able to see wolves. So people do want wolves back into, you know, our environment, and they're willing to learn how to coexist. And that's the whole thing, learning to coexist with our wildlife. Why do we have to have it to where you can kill a wolf for what is it, $19 in the areas like Idaho and Montana and Wyoming, but yet an elk is over $800. It's $815. So they're, you know, of course, making the money off of that. So if you kill all your predators or get them down to such low numbers, you're artificially inflating the deer and elk populations so you can sell more hunting permits. And so that's why the big fight in Colorado, oh, don't bring wolves back, you know, because then they're going to have to manage the fact, and we need to have that balance in ecosystem. There are ways to be able to coexist together, and we're wanting to work with that. We will even work with, Parks and Wildlife on that, as far as helping to get wolves back into our state, and to keep it to where we do have a balance there. So that's part of our mission here, and other organizations as well as getting wolves back into our state and protecting our Yellowstone wolves.
And I hope a lot of people understand that you're actually, for the protein hunters, we have good relationships with protein hunters here. A lot of our meat comes from protein hunters. A lot of protein hunters in Colorado understand that if you were to bring wolves back, it's going to make their protein hunt stronger. So they actually come visit us and say, hey, we're with you. We're fighting for the wolves. We want a bigger elk next year, and we understand that when wolves are here, they'll cull off the ones that are sick and old and make the young stronger in the next season. So we're hoping that people outside of Yellowstone and Montana and the Gardner, Montana, understand that too, that they're actually going to be helping the protein hunter, which is kind of one of the bigger issues involving the wolves. So we hope that this is helpful for everyone. If you have any questions, please comment below. We're actually going to encourage everyone to watch a very short YouTube video. It's called How Wolves Change Rivers. It's about how the wolves came into Yellowstone and were able to change it within the 20-year time period. So everyone go and watch that, and also comment below and tell us what you found most interesting about that. That's one of our absolute favorite videos, so we'll definitely appreciate it. It's only 4 minutes out of your day, and I promise you, you'll absolutely love it. So again, I'm Courtney from the Colorado Wolf and Wildlife Center.
Darlene.
And we will see you next week. Thank you.
Bye.